The 6th of November, Rabbi Levitt, Horeb.
Okay, Bez Hashem. We'll do it.
Good morning, Rabbi Levitt.
Good morning, Roy.
And good morning, Lou and Mair again.
Yes, good morning again, Roy.
Right.
Okay. So we are in the middle of the chapter Duties Towards the Community. And we are, I don't remember where we got up to.
686. Oh, no, hold it.
606.
Yeah, my arrow was over the 0. It looked like an 8.
606. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so Roy, would you like to start the reading for us today?
All right, 606.
606. The last section.
All right, talking about mitzvahs, duties to the community. For the day-to-day administration of all communal affairs, the community elects its honorary officers. Insofar as they act on behalf of the community, they are invested with the full authority of all its members. By virtue of their election, they are implicitly authorized to oblige the individual to carry out what is his absolute duty to the community, or what custom or a communal decision has established as such. They are obliged to be the eye of the community to ensure that the study and practice of Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Hasidim flourish in the community, and to ensure that all the ordinary duties of the Jewish community are performed. And they should see to it that places and times for such purposes are arranged. Where their powers do not suffice, they should call upon the community to give them the authority required. The community shall respect its honorary officers and officials. In them, it respects itself and shall carry out their orders. On the other hand, no communal leader and no official shall consider him superior to the rest of the members of the community, shall not despise them, and shall not think little of even the humblest among them. Rather, as he must represent justice and good strictly in a firm and serious manner, he should in his own person be modest, amiable, and gentle. He must feel the cares and worries of the whole as the individual and must not rest until he has attended to them. Also, he must respect the dignity of his office and not forfeit through indiscreet, unworthy behavior that respect which he needs. For the administration of all community funds, what we have said above in paragraph 602 applies. All communal leaders should be actuated by the thought that only from the strength of the community do they draw their own strength, and must take care that through the concentration of all communal affairs in themselves, the interest of the members of the community in the corporate life does not fade, rather that they must make efforts where and when they can to awaken the interest of the members of the community so that they will cooperate in every important matter and keep alive that communal spirit without which there is no genuine community.
Very nice. Okay. Okay, so that is what the community is all about, and to further the practice of Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Chasodim. And so that's what these officers have as their mission to carry out, to see that it is that those three pillars of the Jewish people are flourishing in their community. And okay, Ezrat Hashem. Yeah. It's a real community organization that Rev Hirsch is talking about here. Okay, a round of applause for the community. Hooray! Okay, now we go to 96. And we ask Mayor to start off the reading.
Okay. It says, let's see, this is duties of the subject and of the citizen. Okay, let's see. We have something from, it looks like Yirmiyahu here. Now, these are the words of the letter that Yirmiyahu the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders, which were carried away captives, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat fruit of them. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. Okay, from Yirmiyahu. Okay, segment 607.
Yes, continue, please.
Okay, it says, thus God calls upon the Jews carried off into captivity in Babylon to settle there, to further the good of that country as citizens and subjects, to pray for its weal. The country which had forcibly taken them to live in its midst. He demands that every Jew find his own well-being only in that of the country, and even as for his own, to work and pray for the welfare of the country. And yet Israel was not to spend longer than 70 years there. Thus, for all time did God lay down Israel's duty towards those countries and nations to which, far from being brought forcibly, they have freely emigrated, in which there is no predetermined time for the length of their stay, in which each salutes the soil which gave him birth, and in whose princes and governments everyone recognizes the safeguard of his material well-being, and whose weal and woe Israel has now shared for thousands of years. Let us repeat, in whatever land Jews shall live as citizens, as inhabitants, or enjoying special protection, they shall honor and love the princes and government as their own, contribute with every possible power to their good, and fulfill all the duties towards princes and land, which a subject owes to his prince, an inhabitant to his land, and a citizen to his country.
That seems a bit strong to me.
Well, that's those are the words of Yirmiyahu.
Honor and love the princes of the government who are not Jewish.
Oh, to honor and love the princes of government as their own.
I mean, I could see it said to respect them, but treat them with proper deference.
Possible power to their good.
Honor and love. I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
Probably the language of those days that he wrote this. But he uses words that we don't use now.
Well, honor and love haven't changed their meaning.
Okay. Hey, here you have a issue with his choice of words over here. Okay, I hear. You're saying he's going too far.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, practically speaking, what is he gonna say over here? Let's see if he gets any more specific in terms of what this honor and love would entail, right?
Well, I think that that the Jews who live in countries outside of Israel, if their hosts are beneficial to them, I guess they should appreciate the hospitality of those countries.
I'm not going to be there for much soon.
Yeah, we actually mentioned this. We had a related chapter just very recently, didn't we? About not abhorring an Egyptian. We Rev Hirsch spoke about that as well. You know, that we're in spite of the fact that we suffered at the hands of the Egyptians terrible persecution and subjugation, but nevertheless the Torah. This is in 587, section 587. That's what the Torah says. Don't feel negatively towards towards an Egyptian because you were a stranger and you enjoyed hospitality in his land. So that's what he says over there.
Right. If you remember, I asked about that. Why do we say Yimach Shemo?
I think he's saying in this paragraph 587, he's referring exclusively to the times when it was all right. He said, you shall not abhor an Egyptian, you were a stranger to the land, and even your forefathers once found a home. So you should show yourself grateful there, no matter what unkindness they later transformed. The later that unkindness is a different, in a different section. It's not. I don't think it's included in the gratefulness. Certainly wouldn't be grateful for unkindness. once you were okay, you Egyptians, thank you very much for that. But now that you transformed yourselves into horrible people, I'm not grateful for that. But I am grateful for you initially helping us out. Yes,
Yeah, well, Rav Hirsch says there's a lesson in this for the Jewish people who are once more scattered over the face of the world. Learn to forget the centuries of oppression and misery, of the inhuman scorn and inhuman degradation, which folly and lack of understanding brought upon you in your wandering in the Gullus. And remember gratefully that the good that you found everywhere and still find. So that was his byword. The good shall you remember, the evil forget. That's what he says. And yeah.
And yet we say never forget.
What?
We say never forget.
We can forgive but not forget.
Well, who says never forget? Are you quoting? Who are you quoting when you say we say never forget?
The Jewish people, Klal Yisrael.
Well, I always like to know who says it. You know, if the secular Jewish organizations say it, that doesn't really tell me that that's the true Torah hashkafa.
Well, I can accept that.
They desecrate Shabbos and eat tarfus as well. So I don't invest too much confidence in what they say.
Okay, I can accept that. You don't hold by never forget.
No, I'm just saying. Whenever we say the following thing, or we say this, or we say that, we really have to trace and find out: is this really a valid thing that we say according to the Torah? Because there's a lot of Jewish voices in our world that say all sorts of things, but they are not really authentic voices of what the Torah has to say about things. That's what we have to be wary of.
Would you go out on a limb and say that the Torah says that never forget is not correct?
Rev Hirsch said right here, the good shall you remember, the evil forget. That's what he says.
Okay, and what about Yimach Shemo? They say that too.
Again, I asked the same question. Who's they that says it?
Well, I can't give you an example.
The person next to you in shul?
I can definitely tell you that
he's not an authority on what the Torah says. With all due respect.
Okay, so the next time I hear somebody who is an Orthodox rabbi say Yimach Shemo, I should challenge him, right?
Well, I mean, there's also Orthodox rabbis that will say the same thing. I know and to that I also say. It could be that It could be that there's a there's different. We know that we know even that there's differences of opinion in the Talmud, right? We do know that there are differences of opinion. We do know that there are different approaches. But you know, I think the point is that if you want to know what you could Google it, what the Talmud itself says in regard to non-Jews. The Talmud says chabdeu, honor them, respect them, v'chashdeu, but suspect them. Don't trust them. So I would say, according to that it's not a wise idea to go around spouting off, especially in front of tape recorders and newspaper writers. A Jewish person who has and he's spouting off out about how the goyim have persecuted Jews and this and that. I don't know if that's something that is a beneficial thing to think. Do you think so? I don't see any beneficial purpose that could come from it. Our general way of looking at things is we honor the nations, but we suspect them. Just like because we know that they're not to be trusted. But we don't try to race them on, as we say. We don't try to incite them against us by accusing them of this and that or the other thing, and referring to them as evil murderers and all this type of thing. What do we accomplish by that? We probably cause more ill will than if we wouldn't have said such things. You always have to know what's the beneficial and proper thing to say. Is it true that that's what they did? Yeah, it's true. But not everything that's true needs to be said. Lashon Hara is also true.
It's interesting. You said you can Google it. So so I just did. I Googled Yimach Shemo, and it says the origin is from Psalms chapter 109, verse 13, and it's a reference to Haman and Amalek.
Where's the citation?
Psalms 109:13.
Okay, 109:13. Let's take a look. That's what Google says. Let's take a look at what the commentators say that it refers to.
Wow. It's a whole diatribe here.
Yeah.
Makshama literally means what? Curse his name or
No, may his name be erased.
erased? Well, you're not going to erase his name by remembering him like that. Whoever it is. How are you going to erase a person's name? Memory. Just don't refer to him at all. And eventually he won't be around.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm looking over here.
It looks like it's talking about people who are wicked and deceitful.
In other words, it doesn't say explicitly in the pasuk anything about Haman.
No. No, it's referring to him and his. And if you look back, it seems to be that it introduces the idea of the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. Blah blah blah, and then we get to our verse. It says, "Let his posterity be cut off, and in the generation following, let their name be blotted out."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and name be blotted out is the translation of Yimach Shemam. Yimach Shemam.
Al Yehi Lo Moshe Chesed Ve'al Yehi Koden V'Yisamav Yehi Achrisoi L'Achris V'Dor Acher Yimach Shemam. Dor Acher Yimach Shemam. Yeah, okay. So, okay.
But maybe we could ask, it says in the parsha that we read every year for Amalek, it says, "Do not forget." Maybe that's the source of "do not forget." And we know that on Purim, we say, "Cursed is Haman," and we boo him and bang him whenever his name is mentioned. We seem to have a pretty negative attitude towards him.
True, but do we publicly the New York Times say that the Jewish people is committed to destroying Amalek? We don't do that. That's my point. That's my point.
Okay, but that's not really addressing my question. My question is, if Rav Hirsch says we should love and honor even the worst bad guys, the Egyptians who murdered us and bathed in our blood, etc., then we don't seem to be having that same attitude when it comes to Haman or Amalek or the Nazis.
Okay, well you have a source for the Torah when you're talking about Amalek. True. But if you want to make every goy that you don't like and say he's a Molech and say he should be destroyed, that's going beyond what the Torah is talking about.
But don't the sages say that the Nazis were Amalek?
Were the Nazis Amalek? Yeah, there's some that say such a thing. Okay. But that would be whether they did what they did. That's who they are. That's because of what the Torah says about Amalek, not because of what they did 70 years ago. Even if the Holocaust never happened, there would still be the mitzvah that there always was of Purim and Mechias Amalek, to destroy Amalek. That's what it says in the Torah.
Right, and that's what I'm questioning. Is that consistent with what we're learning here with Rav Hirsch?
Rav Hirsch is not talking about Amalek. We have to see what he says about Amalek, if he has a chapter on Amalek. But he's talking about the nations of the world. The nations of the world, the Torah says, don't abhor even a Mitzri, even an Egyptian, don't abhor him.
So if I feel that we're commanded to abhor an Amalek, is that a contradiction? You're saying no because it's a different. It's not an Egyptian. It's an Amalek.
That's what the Torah says. I didn't make it up. The secular Jewish organizations didn't make it up. That's what the Torah says. So that's not inconsistent.
But I don't think that
make a distinction between Amalek and other nations. Other nations, by Amalek we have a mitzvah of it says to destroy Amalek, but we don't have any mitzvah like that in regard to other nations. That's what the Torah says. So we're following what the Torah says, not following what all the secular Jewish organizations say.
Excuse me, I have to go now, and I won't be in for the next meeting either. I'm sorry. I've got to go to a check-up thing.
Okay.
Okay, be well, Roy.
Thank you.
Be well.
Have a good day, Roy.
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this, but still, anyway, what we do, we do.
Okay. Yeah, he says this. I don't want to get you started again here, though, but he uses this word love also in the 587. And when you find yourself an abode and are allowed only a pitiful existence, even for that be thankful, show gentleness and love to every citizen of those states that have welcomed you and have given you their protection. Let him learn from you the love that he has denied you.
You're not bothering me with what you're saying. That doesn't bother me at all. What I'm questioning is whether we actually follow this. And you're saying we do follow it. And if I give you an example where it seems that we don't follow it, you're saying, well, that's not a valid example because that's not the Torah. That's coming from a bad source.
Yeah, until you could show me we would have to look. I mean, Rav Hirsch is he speaks about these matters. Others speak about the matter. We have to take a look, do some research, and see what the if there's any. This is a across the board, or it's just a singular opinion of Rav Hirsch.
There's also a principle that I've been told that if Klal Yisrael takes on a custom, there's a certain kedusha to that custom because Klal Yisrael does it. The Klal Yisrael as a whole, as an entity, has a certain status that gives legitimacy to a practice that they take on.
Well, they can only give legitimacy to a practice that is a proper practice. They can't make the whole Jewish people can't make something that's illegitimate legitimate.
I'm not saying they can, but I'm saying that if we see that the Jewish people have taken on to do something, we have to ask ourselves, does that mean it's proper? If you say, well, give me a source, I'll say, well, my source is the Jewish people.
People do it. That's the source.
Right.
Now, I don't go for the fact that people do it. People do a lot of things on Shabbos that they're not supposed to do, and they just don't know any better. But so you always have to find out what the correct thing to do is.
Well, I once asked a question about a practice that I witnessed. I was on a tour in Israel, and we went to Kever Rachel, and somebody in our group had brought a red string, a spool of red string, and they wrapped it around the kever 3 times, and the result was that they had this long red string, and they brought it onto the bus, and they cut it up into short pieces, and they handed it out, and they said it's a segula. It's you get the benefit of Rachel Imenu, and it's a segula for something. I forget what it was segula for.
Yeah.
And so after I returned home, and my wife asked me, should I should I take one? And I said, no. I said, it seems to me that it's a superstition. You shouldn't take it. And so when we came home, after we came home, there was a guest lecturer, Rabbi Graydon. I don't know if you know, you probably know him from Los Angeles.
Yeah, sure.
Rabbi Graydon was a Rosh Yeshiva. He was a very chashuv person, and he was a guest lecturer at our shul. And when the question and answer time came up, I asked him. I told him the story I just told you, and I told him that I told my wife not to do it. I thought it was superstition, and I asked him, "Am I wrong in that?
Mm-hmm.
In saying that?" And he said, first of all, if I were there, I would not have taken a string. However, he said, if the Jewish people take on a custom, then that custom has merit. And since this is something that the Jewish people have taken on, you should not say it's superstition. You should not say it's wrong.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
So that's my source.
Okay. Okay. I wish you a good day, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, great day, everybody. To Mayor and Baruch Hashem. We have to honor and love Hashem because we had our Zoom meeting today without any interruptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Shikaya.
All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. Yes, Hashem.
Okay.